FlossTube. Welcome to Flossmas Day 6. Gloomy again. It's later again. What time is it? It's 8:45, so this is my latest yet. I was working today. I was in work 9 till 4:30, so I got home around about 5 o'clock. Spent most of the day putting together bacon sandwiches to get home and my daughter to ask for bacon sandwiches for tea. So I've pretty much been doing bacon all day. I've still got the smell up my nose and it's making me, and I love bacon, but enough now. Enough bacon now. Right. Anybody else hear that? Anybody else want porridge? Robin's making porridge and he's shouting around the house. I assume I will be handed to give a dish of porridge soon. Right. I'm going to steam on. Okay. Not a lot of stitching done because I have been at work all day, but I have a little bit of progress. Right, Kingdom of Books. Yes, I just suddenly questioned whether that's what it was called or not. You get the pattern? So, this is going to look like this. And yes, I am doing it on my own fabric, which is 18 count, which I showed yesterday and gridded up yesterday. Here is what I have done since yesterday. So yesterday I've just done a couple of stitches along here and a few up this leg. So I've done a little bit more of that. I filled in all the dark browns there. And this is the very, very toppy middle. That's this bit here, which is very, very dark. I'm going to do some of the blues and then I'm going to work on some of the wood because I figure there's wood top and bottom. I am going to stitch the wood. Now, I've had a couple of little questions about this. I'm stitching the background, one because I didn't want to wait and get pretty fabric to do it on, and two because I like to play Full Coverage Fanatics challenges, which is a Facebook group. It's a really lovely group, and it has to be full coverage, all background stitched. So to play along with with them and their challenges, I need to do the background. So I am doing the background. Now, with my debate in the last couple of days, I have changed from the 14 count that came in the kit, which would have been 3 strands. I am now doing it on 18 count and I'm going to do 2 strands of floss, which is still pretty tremendous coverage because it's not DMC, it's kit threads, and they are they're lovely and shiny and they're barely snagging. They're actually really nice. It's really nice floss, but it is ever so slightly thicker than branded DMC. So as you can see, I've cracked into just a couple of the browns there. I've got the little extra bits. I tie them on along these circles at the top. Robin is still faffing around with my floss organiser, which he's making for me for it. So there's that. So there's my Kingdom of Books, just a little bit of progress there. And I did a little bit this morning, just trying to find it, on Peaceful Street, which is the other kit that I got, which is going to look like this. And now we have there. So that's what it's going to look like. So if I put it like there, and then that's where I am. So I've put in a lot more of the green. I came along here, did the green up here this morning, and since I've been home I've done a bit more of the gate here, and I've come up and started to do this kind of dark gold colour in this building. So I've done a little bit more, and I've put a little bit more on the I've done this line until I couldn't get the needle in anymore because I've got about another 4 or 5 stitches I can stitch with that thread. So I use my floss right down to the nubbins. There is one of my cut off ends, barely an aught, barely enough to go in a jar. That's just the length of the needle, and that's what I stitch down to almost every time. It's just how I am. Every stitch I can, which is why I'm always grumpy if it rats up and I get knots and stuff. I hate that because I can't use the floss right to the bitter end. So this I am doing on the kit fabric, which is a 14 count Ada, and I'm using the 3 strands recommended, and it is textural but very pretty. It's only when I'm going into stitches that have already got stitches around them that it's really difficult. So my Kingdom of Books will come out smaller because I'm doing it on quite a bit smaller count, but it's still going to look really super pretty, and I'm loving how the colours are graduating. You know, there's a lot of, it's not confetti as such, it's not like a Hade confetti, but it's very definite. There's shading in the colours and it's looking really good. So there's that bit of stitching there. I have also done what will be pillow number 6, and for number 6 we have a squirrel and 2 little green hearts. So there is pillow number 6, what will become pillow number 6. I'm going to have to do some more of the borders because I've only got 3 more stitch that have got the borders already stitched on them, and those are stitched. Those inner borders are white, so they're not very jumpy. For the candles yesterday, I did the white 2 strands so that it was more noticeable. So there's that. So we need a letter for today, or a number. So let's pull out, it is a number today. There's your number 6, there's your 6th, which I will write the 6th on the back, just so I keep myself, I am piling them up in order, but I'm not terribly brilliant. So there's the 6th. If you're playing along to win the prize at the end, the grand prize, which is this, that will be turned into 24 little pillows, which will be mounted on some sort of counting pegboard so that you can use it as an advent basically an advent calendar. But it's completely original because I'm making it up as I go along, really. I am using the motifs found in Renato Perelin's Christmas pattern just because they're my favourites. It's my favourite pattern that I've stitched so far. And if you've watched my other Flossmases, you will already know all of this because I'm just blurbing on. Okay, so there's that. Now, the box of goodies, which is up for today, I'm going to do the drawing for that now. So let's open the browser on my tablet, random org. So today we are going minimum 1, maximum 69. Now this is only from video 4, the 4th and the 5th, because nobody else has commented on the 3rd, so that's great. So between 1 and 69, generate. It has picked number 3. There it is, between 1 and 69, it's picked number 3. Right back to number 3. Number 3, Mel. Mel pattern. Mel pattern, it is yours. So Mel, if you, I'll put your name here, just in case you're watching on mute or something, I don't know, and you see your name flash up. Mel, the box is yours. If you want to email me your postal address, then I will get that off to you, and yours is going off same time as the imp stitches will be going off if you get back to me before I go out to the post office tomorrow. Well, it'll be when I go to work tomorrow. Here we go. So, oh, I don't know how to work the Fire tablet yet. The buttons are all different. Anyway, please comment on this video, and tomorrow there'll be another box up for grabs. So please comment on tomorrow's video as well, and then you get entered twice, which gives you a better chance, I think. So, yeah. So that's it. So I've had a few questions, so I'm going to answer a few questions. My little quote, which is nobody got. One lady said it was from the Blade Trinity. Now I've not watched that, so I don't know what that is. Is it something good? Should I watch it? Are they movies? My little quote was from Outlander. Now, if you haven't seen Outlander, I can't be the only person on the planet that's watched it. That's from season 1. I reckon if you're gonna watch it, it's on Amazon Prime. It's on Stars Play, but it's on Amazon Prime all the time. If you haven't watched it at all, start at the beginning. The first series is by far the best, and that's from the first series. So that's where that's from. I can't be the only one that knows all the words to it, but mostly I listen. I used to work from home, so I used to paint the things that I now work in house and paint. I used to paint at home as an outworker, so I used to basically just have my tablet propped up and I would I'd rattle through box sets and I'd basically listen to them, and I think that's why I've learned the words to things, because I haven't really watched them. Now if I watch an episode of something, I'll be like, I did not picture those people to look like that, and I realised I very rarely looked at the screen. I quite often just sat and listen, like we do when we're stitching. We're mostly looking down and stitching and listening to people talking about their embroidery, and every now and again you'll look up and go, oh, that's pretty, oh, I want to buy that. But yeah, a bit like that. So that's from Outlander. First series, by far the best. Watched the first series a lot, watched the second series a couple of times. I've watched the third series once. I didn't quite finish the fourth series, and I haven't even watched the fifth series because it's gone, as far as I'm concerned. I really should watch it. I feel disloyal not watching it, but yeah, couldn't read the books. I listened to the first 4 books on audiobook again while I was painting, and yeah, too long. The books are that thick. I think if you were around when they were brand new out, it was a thing to read them, but not for me. Anyway, too much stitching to do to read books these days. So I've got 2 bits of things from my children. My middle daughter, who draws. Now she's drawn this, and she's drawn this on her phone, but her hand-drawn pictures are exactly the same as this. So this is hand-drawn by my 14-year-old, the little girl who makes the Fimo counting pins. She drew that yesterday. Isn't that lovely? So she drew that and she's printed it out. But a lot of her hand-drawn pictures look like that. And my eldest daughter, for reasons known only to herself, picked up her needle felting stuff and has been making needle felted things. And I'm going to insert a little video of what she made while I was at work today. Hang on. Ooh. So pretty. So I stopped the video because it's very much easier for me to stop the video rather than... Here comes Robin up the stairs. You're bringing me a piece of wood. Here, give me that. Thank you. What is this?
I think that was some sort of fruit tree.
Here is some sort of fruit tree. This is what Robin has been to get. A big piece of wood.
Yeah, can't beat it.
Which he's just brought me to show me. Desist. Go away. Go and play where you live.
Oh, no.
Oh, shut the door behind you. Honestly. Oh, brought me a branch. Just brought in a branch and went, here. He's just been over and collected a bootload of what was classed as firewood, except he's going to use it for wood turning and all sorts. And he's very pleased with himself. That's the 3rd time he's been up with pieces of wood to show me. I'm going to use my I'm thrilled face. Anyway, I thought he was bringing me a bowl of porridge, which I won't eat in front of you, I promise. So, where was my page of questions? The pens. You can see why I got confused. I get a bit confused with this is my fabric pen, and that's one of our ordinary fine liners. Now this is a water erasable fabric pen. It's got this is what I was using to grip my fabric. I've had a couple of questions. It has a fine nib and it has a chunky pen nib. Now this writes turquoise, and apparently it is water soluble, but because my full coverage is going to completely cover it, I probably won't wash. Some of my full coverage pieces I will have to wash, like Mini Autumn's Promise, because it is filthy in the background, basically white. It's like 6 shades of white in the background, and it is filthy, so that will be washed, but that's pure DMC I've used for that. The key I probably won't wash because I have used dodgy anchor black in that. Don't buy your anchor off Amazon. It's not real anchor. I know that now, but I think I bought a pack of 10 and used about 3 of them till I realised that it wasn't real anchor. And Fancy Lady Cross Stitch, a lovely lady in England who does floss tubes. She's called Tina, she's lovely. She washed one of her pieces and the black went on it, and it was a beautiful Barbarana sampler, and she had to do a fair bit of fixing upping with that, which again I think is the not quite right anchor that you buy on Amazon. Yeah, buy them from a proper shop. So there's my pen. I bought mine from mybobbin.com just because I was buying things from mybobbin.com and I got into the bits and pieces section, and I ordered my pen when I got some things from mybobbin. The writing has all rubbed off it. There used to be writing on it, but it's apparently water soluble. You can get purple. I can get them in Hobbycraft. I can get one like this, and I can get one that's purple, which is apparently air. It disappears in air, but I think that's more for dressmaking, because that tends to be, I think it says 24 to 48 hours it disappears as if by magic. Some of them you can get rid of by ironing, but apparently they do work, and the lines I've drawn on my Ada, like on the key or Mini Autumn's Promise, the lines are still there. So, I gridded them over a year ago, so this I assume is water soluble, and yeah. I have used a turquoise fine liner when I thought, that's why I always say when I pick it up, oh, I hope this isn't the turquoise fine liner, because I have, oh no, that's a felted pen. I have a turquoise fine liner that looks very like this just there, and I keep picking it up by mistake. So that's my pen. My stamp needle minders, somebody asked me how I make them. I have described before how I make them. Basically, Robin, with the bandsaw, Robin cuts very thin, ooh, that's lovely, very thin bits of wood. That looks like a piece of oak to me. So you can see he's wood crazy. We have every conceivable type of saw known to man in the shed. So he cuts these. I mean, that's literally 1.5 millimeters, not even 2 millimeters thick there. And I used decoupage glue to glue down the stamps onto the bits of wood, and then I cut them with my electric fret saw that he bought me for my birthday about 10 years ago. Yay. It was the birthday present I never knew I wanted or needed. It's one of those gifts to yourself kind of things. And then on the big belt sander I sand all the edges off nicely, and then when that's done and it's on, the stamps are on and it's all sanded off beautifully, I set them in UV resin. If you watch Flossmas #1, there is a picture of them in my, it's the things when you have beautiful gel nails, which I don't, because I feel claustrophobic in nail varnish. I can't imagine what I'd feel like with gel nails on that, you know, you can't take off. But I have the UV nail light, but I use it for craft. Perfect. So I then set them in resin so that they've got a lovely clean shiny surface, and they're preserved forever in that, aren't they? Because it's essentially a coating of plastic. So that's the stamp needle minders. Somebody asked about the counting pins. Now, I've never used counting pins, but I do see them an awful lot, and I can reach them. They're just, here's the pack of goodies that I'm filling the boxes with. Now I believe you use counting pins if you're sit stitching here and you need to go and stitch up here and it's like 8 stitches up. You count up your threads and you pop your pin in to mark, or some people will sort of, instead of gridding fabric, they'll then count down 10 or 20 stitches and then put a pin in, and then count down another 10 or 20 stitches and then put another pin in, if you see what I mean. So instead of gridding, they put in pins. Mostly I see these decorative pins popped into pin cushions that people have made, you know. They make beautiful pin keeps. I rather fancy biscornues. Lizzie and I were having a bit of a play on words when she made all these biscuits. I've got a whole jam jar full of biscuits. Again, if you look at the first video, they're clearly visible in the bit where I'm showing my tidy desk, because it took me ages to tidy it up. I've got a whole jam jar full of these little things. There's a donut there and an iced biscuit. So people basically stick them into decorative pin cushions and things that they've stitched. But Lizzie and I were having a play on words with a biscornu, so we were thinking of doing a biscuit pattern that would be stitched into a biscornu, and then it would come with the biscuit counting pins to put in your biscornu. Anyway, we were thinking about a play on words, but we haven't quite. It's still a fairly unformed idea. Here he comes again. Let's see what he wants this time. Is this my porridge? Thank you. That's my porridge. Cheers. Hi. He's such a pest. He's been out. He went out in the car. He's basically been locked in since March. He's been out by himself about 4 times to pick up things that he's bought either on eBay or on Facebook Marketplace. This is about the 4th time he's been out by himself. Usually he just goes to school, picks up the kids and comes back. But the kids have only been back in school since January. You know, so January? No. When did they go back? September. Oh my God. I don't know what day it is. Yeah, they went back in school after the summer holidays in September after being off since March. So he's only been doing it since then. Oh, he has dropped bits of wood all over my embroidery. Great. That's what happens when he brings up branches. Sorry, we're having another one of these weird scatty things today. I did dig out a couple of finishes that I was going to show you, but I'm not going to today because I think this is going to be probably nearly long enough by the time I finish prattling on. There we go. I think that was the answers to most of the questions. I've forgotten again to put up the face mask tutorial. I will try, between editing this video and uploading it to Facebook, I will try and remember to put the link to it. Hopeless. I'm hopeless. I'm so sorry. I'm hopeless. And this has been a fairly scattered thing, but I'm a little bit tired because I've been at work. Yeah, I'm going to do a bit of quiet stitching tonight, and then it's work tomorrow, but only 9 till 1, so that won't be so bad. And I've got a fairly boring quiet week this week. My middle girl, the drawing girl, is getting her braces off on Wednesday, which will be lovely, and that's the same day that my eldest daughter has got her interview for Cambridge University. So we'll fingers crossed for her for Wednesday. It's all online. We don't have to get in the car and traipse 3 hours down the country to Cambridge, but yeah, she got an interview for Cambridge, so that's happening on Wednesday. And my middle daughter's having her braces off as well. It's been a year and a half of orthodontics, but I'm a stickler, I'm afraid. We are British people have bad teeth, but my children will go out into the world with beautiful teeth. It's one of my sticklers, I'm afraid. So yeah, that's the eldest and the middle-y girl. My eldest daughter got her braces off about 2 years ago. I get them done sooner rather than later. In the UK, it's more common for people to have their braces on when they're 17, 18 years old. But I've had my girls done earlier so that they can do that bit of their life without braces on. I had mine on when I was 18 and it wasn't fun to be the one with train track braces. But yeah, so that's all I've got on this coming week. Just the orthodontist twice on Wednesday, once to get them off and the second time to fit the night guards and the retainers and everything. So super fun, and I'm talking about nonsense again, so it must be time for me to go. Thank you for watching. Sorry I'm a bit but I have been on my feet for 8 hours today, so yeah, a bit more, this is me a bit more tired, so I'm gonna sit on my bed, I'm gonna eat my dish of porridge, and I'm gonna do some stitching. And drop me a little comment and I'll enter you for the next box, which will be, again, comment tomorrow. I'll show you the bits in it tomorrow and then comment again, and then it'll be, I'll draw on the 8th for that. Still not got the Christmas decorations up, still not finished tidying the living room. Yeah, I'll do it later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye for now. Bye bye.